Today I'm going to teach you about perpendicular lines and rays. Okay, now let's start with this. So, let's say we have two line segment here. This is actually not a line segment, but it is a line, right? So, these two lines just form a 90 degrees angle when they intersected to each other. So, this box indicates 90 degrees. Not the whole box, but the half of it on this quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. They just form 90 degrees. If you're taking algebra, you know that. And now, let's call this D. And here, let's call this A. Okay, don't bother about my keyboard. Just doesn't we doesn't get along that well. Okay. Let's call this B, and then this thing, of course, it's C. Not X, but C. Okay, now. So how can we represent this in a symbol, these perpendicular lines? So we're going to represent it as this. DC is perpendicular to AB. So not you can read that like that. We can read it as line segment DC is perpendicular to line segment AB. So this symbol is just represent the representative. Wow, representative. The representer of perpendicular. And you can write it as this thing. So I'm going to delete the arrows so they can just represent perpendicular the line segment that well. Now let's move on to our practice problem. Given that angle BAD is equals to 9x plus 14 and angle CAD is equals to 2x squared plus 8, what is angle CAD? So we're just going to name things here. So on the problem, we have a given that angle DAB is 9x plus 14. And then angle CAD is 2x squared plus 8. So we all know that this will form 90 degrees angle, right? Because on the given ray AB is perpendicular to ray AC. So let's just say angle BAD plus angle CAD is equals to 90 degrees. And then angle BAD on the given quadratic here, and then we got 9x plus 14 plus 2x squared plus 8 equals to 90. Now what we can do here is just simple algebra. We can just combine like terms, so we can just add 14 and 8, so we will get 22. And then we still have 2x squared here, so I'm just going to delete that 9x raised on some kind of power. And then 90, we can just subtract this thing, move it to the left side. So we got 9x squared and then minus. So how can we minus? Now let's subtract it. So we're going to use subtraction. Of course, 90 minus 22. There we go. We have this. So we got 68 plus 2x squared. And then this thing will equal to 0. So as we can see here, we just have a quadratic. It is on quadratic form. So we can either use quadratic equation or we can just solve this by factor. So what we're going to do is just multiply negative 68 on 2. So we can just do that here. And then negative 68 times 2 is going to be 8 times 2 is 16. I'm just imagining things. So we got negative 136. We're going to find out the factors of negative 136. So it is 8 times 17. And then if we're going to add those things, we're going to multiply again. So as you can see, it's equal to 136. We're going to put a negative sign on 8 because if we're going to sum it up, it will equal to 9x. So we got 2x squared minus 8x plus 17x minus 6. The 8 is equals to 0. Now we can just factor this thing. So we can factor out 2x here. So what we will left here is just x minus 4. And then plus, we can just factor out 17 here. So we have as x minus 4 once again. We can just group this thing. So we got x equals to 4. We're going to do some more manipulation into it. And then we will get negative 17 over 2, which is we're not going to consider this, not 4 but 2. Okay, so we're just going to consider x equals to 4 because we cannot have a negative angle, right? So angle CAD, as x is equals to 4, we can just substitute 4, so we get this. And then 2 times 4 squared is 16, okay, plus 8. So 16 times 2 is going to become 32 right here, and then plus 8. So our angle CAD is going to become 40 degrees. So all we know that this angle CAD and angle BAD, they will just add up to 90 degrees because on the given we have it is perpendicular. So angle BAD is just going to become 90 minus 40, which is 50 degrees, right? And we can prove it by substituting it on the 9x plus 14. And that's basically it. I'm not going to do that. Just we have this problem solved. Thanks you guys for watching.